What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Cosplay Chris. Now, this is something a little bit different to what I usually do here on the channel, but I feel very strongly about this situation and I want to talk about it. So, it's pretty obvious, even though it's not set in stone and it hasn't really been officially announced by Ben Affleck, but as far as we're all concerned, Ben Affleck has officially stepped down as Batman and will no longer be wearing the cape and cowl for any further DCEU films. It comes as Deadline Hollywood tweeted, "The Batman to fly in summer 2021, Ben Affleck passes the torch to next generation of Bruce Wayne." And then Affleck then retweeted it saying, "Excited for the Batman in summer 2021 and to see Matt Reeves' vision come to life." Now, I don't know about you guys, but if this was not true, Affleck would have backed it up and said, "I am still Batman," but like I said, he retweeted it, so he is all for it. So at this stage, it's pretty obvious that Ben Affleck will no longer be Batman. And like I said, I feel very strongly about this situation because it sucks. It really does suck. Affleck is my favorite Batman and Bruce Wayne. When I was a kid, it was Keaton. Keaton was the man, Keaton was the Batman. Then Christian Bale came along and I thought, this guy, just no one can top Christian Bale. He ticked a lot of boxes, but he didn't tick all the boxes for me, and I thought, this is as good as we're gonna get in terms of a Bruce Wayne and a Batman. And then of course back in 2013, Ben Affleck was cast as Batman. A lot of controversy around that, and then Batman vs Superman came out, even though it was quite a mess of a film, still enjoyable, still quite a mess. Affleck was the standout of that whole film. I thoroughly enjoyed his portrayal of the Dark Knight and Bruce Wayne, not just Bruce Wayne the playboy, but a damaged and tortured Bruce Wayne. He ticked all those boxes. Like I said, Bale didn't tick all the boxes, still amazing, Keaton was still amazing, but to me, Affleck will always be Batman and Bruce Wayne. And what really bums me out is that we didn't get to see this solo film that was in development hell. At first, Affleck was going to be directing it, he was going to be starring it, he was going to be writing it. He penned a script, the script was pretty much done, then it went back for rewrites. Then Affleck stepped back as director because I think it was too much of a workload because he was also producing and, like I said, starring and writing. Matt Reeves then came in after his success of the Apes trilogy. He was going to direct and then Affleck was going to do the rest. And then, as you guys had seen, there's just been clickbait articles everywhere for the last year of Affleck saying he's not Batman, then he is Batman, then he's not Batman. But at this point, it's pretty obvious that Affleck will no longer be Batman. So today's video is pretty much just touching on the development hell of the Batman solo film and what can we expect to see in the future, and just also my thoughts. Now, I need you guys to understand that this video is totally and utterly subjective. Everyone has an opinion, and I get that, you know, Affleck isn't everyone's cup of tea when it comes to Batman and Bruce Wayne, and I totally respect that. This is just my opinion, and I'm making this video because Affleck is my favorite Batman and Bruce Wayne. So a few people that were working on the Batman, I heard this from them from the horse's mouth, that at one point, Affleck himself went into Ironhead Studios to meet with Jose Fernandez. Now, as you guys know, Ironhead Studios did the Batsuit for Batman v Superman. But for Justice League, the creation of the Batsuit, whether it be the regular one or the tactical one, was then handed off to Michael Wilkinson and his in-house crew in the UK for Justice League. So apparently he went back into Jose Fernandez when the Batman was gearing up. He said, "I want you to do the Batsuit again." And honestly, I can't fault the Dawn of Justice Batsuit. It's the perfect comic book Batman. So much so that R&D was actually underway for the new Batsuit. It was going to be quite stealthy from what I've been told. And then all of a sudden production was halted, and then the studio execs came in and said, "You guys have to halt anything that's going on with the Batsuit now because production itself is on hold for the time being." I actually made notes on my phone because there's a lot I want to talk about. I'm one of those people, when I record a video, I'll be halfway through editing and realize I left out so much stuff, so I'm gonna make sure I tackle everything. Now, I also understand that Affleck had one more movie / cameo in his contract, so I don't know the legalities of it. I don't know if it's one of those things where he can be released from it now because they want a much younger Bruce Wayne and Batman for the Matt Reeves solo film. Does Affleck get paid out? This is one of those things where I want a discussion in the comments section. Like, how does this work? And of course, last year, Affleck was readmitted back into rehab by his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner. And I gotta give that woman props, man. Like, that is the epitome of a woman. She stands by her ex-husband, throws him in the back of her car, drives him to rehab. Because that's the father of her children. She still cares for him. And at that point, when he was back in rehab, I thought this is definitely not going to happen anymore. And about a week later, photos surfaced of Affleck after rehab. He looked healthy, he looked strong, he looked huge. Everyone was jonesing, everyone was gearing up. They're like, yes, he's gonna be Batman, he's training. And that's what I wanted. I wanted this kind of comeback story for Affleck. He'd hit absolute and utter rock bottom. He gained sobriety after Justice League and he was on a good thing, hit rock bottom again, back in rehab, and I thought this would be great. It's something like Robert Downey Jr. or Mickey Rourke, like where you hit the absolute low but you come back fighting, and I was hoping the solo Batman film would be his comeback. To me, Affleck's performance in Dawn of Justice was like a show reel. It wasn't the Batman show. It was obviously, you know, Batman v Superman, but it was more kind of projected towards Batman, but to me, it was just a show reel showcasing what Affleck is capable of, whether he's wearing the cowl or wearing a suit as Bruce Wayne. So essentially, that was kind of like a tease for me, and I guess a lot of us. And then comes Justice League, where the character was just butchered and changed and was kind of almost like a side character and a sideshow and comedic relief.
Yeah. Oh, something is definitely bleeding.
And that's what makes me sad, is that if this is really true that Affleck is no longer Batman, then that is his last performance in celluloid, and it just sucks because he didn't go out on a high, in my personal opinion. Hated the way he was characterized in Justice League. His character was perfect in Dawn of Justice. Case in point, the warehouse fight in Dawn of Justice. If we could expand upon that by 2.5 hours for a solo Batman film, then that is the perfect formula. That is what we want to see, that grittiness, that very Arkham game-esque type of fighting. And that's why I've entitled this video a wasted opportunity, because the guy just had so much potential. Warner Brothers had a good thing going. And I think Affleck took it to heart, the bad reception that Dawn of Justice and Justice League and Suicide Squad had. But it was one of those things where despite the movies being bad, it was like, dude, you were one of the best parts of it, regardless of his performance and his character in Justice League. But in Dawn of Justice, man, like, he was the standout. And going back to wasted opportunities, I would have loved to have seen Affleck and Jared Leto's Joker on screen butting heads, maybe even a flashback to see how he punched out Joker's teeth, that's how he got his grill. Not to mention seeing Affleck and Joe Manganiello as Destro going at each other, handing their nutsacks to each other. Like, it's... I don't know, man. And if they were wanting a younger Bruce Wayne, they definitely still could have used Affleck. They could have done flashbacks, thrown some motion capture dots on his face, and de-aged him like the Marvel films are doing with Samuel L. Jackson and Michael Douglas. The technology is there, and it really could have been cool to see a younger Affleck with CGI for when he first becomes Batman, and then cut back to him 20 years later when he's Batman. He's older, he's jaded, and I get it, Matt Reeves wants to go in a different direction. He's going for this very noir, detective type kind of Batman film, and I really am excited to see it. Anything Batman, I'm excited to see, and I will support. So guys, amongst all this rambling and verbal diarrhea of mine, my final thoughts are Warner Brothers has severely screwed up. If it is officially set in stone that Affleck has left, it's pretty obvious he has. If he wasn't, he would have said something by now that this is false. I am still on board as Batman. In terms of his contract with his last film and his last cameo, I don't know what the legalities of that are, but just what really upsets me and disappoints me is that his final performance as Batman, if he is no longer Batman, is Justice League, and that characterization of Batman was completely butchered from what we saw in Dawn of Justice. It just sucks, man. I feel the guy didn't get a fair shake in the whole situation, but you know, he's been a good sport about it from what we see. So guys, drop a comment below on your thoughts of Ben Affleck no longer being Batman in the DCEU. Are you happy about this? Are you sad, Affleck, about this? Are you on the fence about it? Are you ready to see a new actor don the cape and cowl? So guys, thanks very much for watching. Next week, I'm gonna have a Crow makeup test. I have finally settled on a design on my life cast that will be included in the video. If you are on Instagram, keep an eye out. I have teased little design hints here and there. It was an absolute and utter punish trying to get that symmetry right, so I have taken a lot of inspiration from Boss Logic's amazing concept art of Jason Momoa as the Crow. Guys, wherever you are in the world, have yourselves a cracker of a day. I hope you're well, hope you're happy, be merry, be silly, and until next time, geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.